so much, my dog. I won't tell you how long I've known him. I didn't even know he's hiding here.
I think the accountability can also happen as a result of the tone which the demand for accountability is made.
I disagree. Once responsibility is conferred on you, it is incumbent that there is accountability. You don't require coercion. You don't require pleading to do the accountability. It is now. It is because the way we operate here. If you go the other side, when husband and wife must, here is Mcpd. Here we take it that we overlord women. That place, you can't even spend 1 naira without letting your wife know that you are spending 1 naira. Your wife will spend without, it's a big joint account. Everything is going there. When you have your brothers and sisters demanding. Anyway, there are two things. I have been told that I have to be accountable by respecting the timing. So I have about 10 more minutes to go. So we'll go at a supersonic speed. There are two issues here. We have rendering of account and we have holding to account. Rendering of account, of course, is where the information about the behavior of the public organization is expected. I will tell you that we have real issues. I was at National Assembly during Senate Finance Committee inquiries on account. You would believe that there is a university for the past 5-6 years, they have not published one single account. Ghana. And the photograph was well preserved, that it looks like a new photograph. I'm too sure that if you get that photograph to any lady and say this is a prospective husband in 2022, the lady will say, come. And when she has accepted the photograph without knowing when it was taken, and somebody like me with gray hair and big tummy comes before the lady will say, this is not the same person I saw in the photograph. But the issue is that not same person? As of today, it is not saying what it ought to say. So if you are presenting, making accountability over a long period of time, it is not containing the same value. That's what I'm saying. Therefore, timeliness should be a very serious factor in considering accountability. Let us look at the accountability principles. One is for you to have that there should be clearly defined roles. And of course, clear performance expectation. For instance, all these arguments will be making. If from the word go, ab initio, you let your partner, you let everybody know that, hey, you will be rendering account. I don't think there will be a problem. It is when expectation is not clearly mentioned, that is when we usually have issues. Of course, balance expectation and capabilities. You don't put accountability to somebody who is not having a capacity to render such responsibility. So you have to balance what you expect the person to do and what the person will do. And of course, not just giving us account for giving sake, like the people who told us that corruption has shifted to the animals. The point is that they get reports, but are the reports credible? I don't know whether we are together. So we expect credible, reliable reporting for us to be able to have good accountability. And of course, once such report comes, there should be opportunity to review and adjust. And that's why we have a lot of you as auditors to provide assurance that the report we have is very, very credible. Let's look at the dimensions. We have internal accountability, we have external accountability, we have managerial, we have political, we have a mandatory. And it is only a mandatory I want to talk. A mandatory is something that comes from you. It is not compulsory. It is not mandatory. But willingly, it is in your habit. You have formed that at any point in time. Hey, whether they call you or not, my community, you gave me 20,000 to execute this project. Look at how I did it. Look at how I did it. 10 naira is the balance. One thing you have to accept and one thing you have to be prepared in accountability is not everybody will accept your report. Even when you have sacrificed even your own money, especially in community, even especially in public service, most of you are in a position of trust. When you do it, those who don't believe in you, no matter what you say, tell me it's doing it for nothing. It is what he's getting. But don't be deterred by that. Just follow the principles and follow still worship. For those of us, our faith tells us that we should be able to render still worship account. We have financial regulations. Rules are made for us to abide by, to guide us, to tell us how and how to behave. Where there are no rules, it becomes Saint-Onem radio. Are we together? I have been qualified to say anything in English. Sorry, sir, for sake of my friend. That is sense. Do whatever you like. Anything where there is no direction, any road leads to where you are going. So there must be regulation, and we have regulations already in existence, and the regulations are geared towards three major things. And they are the major things I have bolded and put in red here. It's geared towards having efficiency. Efficiency has something to do with timeliness, and it has to do with effectiveness. And most importantly is economy. Yes, you can achieve something, but if you achieve that thing at excessive cost, it is as good as not doing it. And that is why we have problems in Nigeria. Efforts that can be confronted at far lower prices in other places come to Nigeria, you have to triple the cost. So in that circumstance, you will say that there is no economy. Yes, you have performed, but was it performed economically? Were there wastages in the performance? What are the legal frameworks? We have a lot of them for those in federal level. We have, of course, the number one in the hierarchy is the Constitution. We have the Finance Control and Amendment Act that is older than the majority of us here, 1958. Up to now, they have not been able to amend it. We also have as a legal framework the Audit Act, 56, Debt Management Act, Fiscal Responsibility, Public Procurement. All these are embedded in public financial management, which expect you to have accountability. And of course, you have the one in bold, and that is the one from Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria that require that the regulatory body for accounting standards and for financial reporting, both in private and in public sector. I wonder how many of you that have heard about that vacancy. And you expected to even register. I'm coming to that now. The financial reporting specific regulations, we have a lot of them. The section 85 of the Constitution has requirement of the auditor 90 days. Now with the technology, I'll give instance of some private entities. 30 days after the end of the financial year, their audited financial statement is there. So the report is close to the end of the year and makes more meaning than people producing financial statements. For instance, the financial statements emanating from Ukraine as of December 31st, if they are coming out now, will they truly represent the present situation in Ukraine? No. As of December, things were quite in order. By February, the war broke out. So if you have that financial statement today and you want to use it to invest in Ukraine, you see that you are burning yourself. So there are a lot of other provisions, and of course, you have those on what we call financial regulations, and presently they are being reviewed, and I think in a matter of time they will be able to issue new financial regulations. My time is up, but I have to talk about Financial Reporting Council. The objective, like I said, is to develop and publish accounting standards, both for public and private sector. And they are the only statutory agency that advise government on financial reporting matters. They promote, they maintain, and of course, a lot of other regulatory issues are done by Financial Reporting Council. Pardon me, I prepared for a 1 hour presentation that I've been asked to run. So finally, a lot of developments are happening in public sector, and you are expected to be abreast of them. Financial statements are no longer prepared as usual. We are no longer dealing with cash basis financial statements. We are dealing with accrual basis. And accrual basis come with a lot of challenges, measurement issues. In fact, there are dimensions. And presently, they are branching into what they call sustainability reporting. And by Monday, we'll be doing a program on sustainability reporting, a program globally handled by the International Public Sector Accounting Standards Board. We will be having the deputy chair of the International Public Sector Accounting Standards Board by the board whip. Will be presenting the keynote, while we have the Auditor General, we have the Accountant General, we have all of them will be there, and this very humble servant will be moderating on Monday. It is a virtual program, free webinar. But you need to know where financial reporting in public sector is heading. Most times, when they issue financial standards, because our own environment, we don't contribute. They rely on the contribution they get advanced, and we find it difficult to comply. But if we participate as we are participating now, and make our voice known, it will shape what comes out of that issue. Conclusion: financial regulations, the link. I think we can share it. We have this now. Tell our guy to share it. The board with them. Before they will say I'm not accountable. Let me write. So let us endeavor in all we are doing to do as much as possible to start the accountability from our side. Not each time we leave the other person, like I said, accountability is the other person's responsibility and not my responsibility. So having said that, I think it will be therefore concluded that essence of financial regulation is for the purpose of accountability, probity, and transparency. Thank you very much. God bless.
Please, let's celebrate him once again. That is Dr. Ayara, delivering a paper on public financial regulation and accessibility. What he has essentially told us is that for us to have a more robust and transparent economy, for us as professional accountants to be well honed and leveraged in the competency of financial reporting. So it is on this note that we appreciate Dr. Ayara for giving us that very important insight into the world of financial counsel. We thank you so much, sir. And that brings the paper, the first paper for today, to a close.
Any question?
However,
Question.
we wish to announce that this student identity card was found as it was missing. It belongs to Osondu Ugochi leader with NCA registration number PMAT/20-52893. She had a mature professional program at the Nigerian College of Accountancy in Owerri Plateau State. So once you identify this, you can come to claim it. It's your identity card. It's on this that I wish to invite Chief Peter Ayawu, the chairman of the Mcpd committee. Anyone? Osondu Ugochi Linda. She has come to claim her ID card. So I wish to invite Chief Peter Ayawu. We have another ID card, please. Permit me to announce this ID card. Okay. Please, we have another ID card. Merikwe Lucy Chiaka, mature professional program of the college. If you are the owner of this ID card, you can come to claim it. And we found this receipt belonging to Onwanchukwu Benedict and AKCOB Rose Nkechi. If you are the owner of this, please come. Thank you. So Peter, please.
Good morning, my professional colleagues, my fellows, my CNAs, my incoming CNAs. Because in another 2 hours we will be gone. Please, we have had our lectures. We don't have much time. We want to just entertain 2 questions. If you have any question for our doc, you come out, the registration number, your state, and your question. Very fast about that. Please, my incoming CNAs, like I said earlier on, tell your people to just wait behind. After this training, we will bring them in. Then my syndicate group we formed yesterday. Please, I hope you are preparing for it. Because we don't have much time. In another 40 minutes, we'll call you upon to come and give us your communique. Thank you very much. So any question, please? Any question, or do we move on to the second paper, the last paper of the day? Go to the last paper of the day?
Sharp.
Do you know the last paper of the day? The year is
Please, let's celebrate the very wonderful speaker, Dr. Ayara, once again. Please, a warm round of applause for the first resource person. And we progress into the second paper for today. which is on perspectives on risk management and accounting in the public sector, which is supposed to be delivered by Mr. Olayinka Odutola, but he is unavoidably absent, and he will be represented by an equally competent professional in the person of Mr. Ogbonia Amefula. Please join me as I make welcome of Mr. Ogbonia Amefula as he comes to deliver this paper on perspectives on risk management and accounting in the public sector. This promises to be a very exciting and interactive session. It will be really good for your professional careers. Please, let's celebrate Mr. Amefula, please.
Good morning, everybody. Let me start on the existing protocol. Thank you so much. I am Amefula Ogbonia. I'm here to represent my boss, Mr. Odutola Olayinka. Let me start by appreciating this very house, Mr. Bello. Thank you so much. What is happening here is honestly something else. Kudos to Anna. That's a very good job. All right. This morning, I've been assigned to facilitate on perspective on risk management accounting in the public sector. All right. Because in the morning, you direct me to come and deliver this. I won't say I'm not prepared, because for him to have called me and given me a marching order means he believes in me and what I can possibly do. Right? Before going into the slides, I want to say this. I understand very well that risk management, enterprise risk management, is somehow a new field, kind of something that has been integrated into what we do and what we know. And this morning, I'm not coming to come and teach you something new or to raise anything. I'm only coming to create a consciousness, to remind you, to challenge you, to get you angry over those things that you know before, those things you've learned, those things that you've been taught, those things that have been on your papers, but possibly somehow we've not been doing them. Either we've not been doing them well, or we've not been taking cognizance of them and giving so much commitment to them. Because when we talk about risk, risk applies to everybody and applies to everything within life. When I left this morning driving to this place, it was full of risk. For me to navigate, they called me and told me I should be here by 9 o'clock exactly. But for me to leave the office, I came in from Oji axis, opposite correctional center, kind of. For me to come here, it was risk. I also know those of us that came from far and near, those that came from the north, Jos, Kaduna, Kano, Lagos, for you to fly into Owerri, it was full of risk, two of us. For you to even dress to this conference room this morning, it was also risk. There is nothing that you can even venture on earth or touch in life. It's not what? Risk. Every activity we do on earth has an element of risk in it. Are we together? So that's why when we look at this, we now start talking about the inherent risk factors in those things. So this morning, we're looking at the perspective, the various approaches. Are there things we're supposed to do? Of course, we said that finance directors, internal auditors, and accountants are supposed to wake up and take the lead on this very risk thing. On a lighter note, let me just share something with us. Mr. Odutola Olayinka, that I don't know, some of us that know him. Some years back when we were in Interconnector Bank, some years back, he was the head of risk management group then in the region, northern region. And as a regional head, manning that desk in charge of risk management, loan requests, everything that has to do with credit management comes to his desk first before it goes to any other person for possibly a disbursement. Then, those in that risk management group, of course, they are chartered accountants as we are today, certified accountants as we are today, fellows and professors, PhD holders in accounting and everything. And when you present your paper, when you present your request, the average accountant, the average auditor, the average everything has it in his comfort zone, and he will write on your paper, write all the details, write all the English and everything, and tell you, man, this transaction will not fly. Better go back and represent. And it keeps coming like that until one day he was asked, Mr. Dutola, you are so wonderful in analyzing risks in transaction, analyzing risks in issues that have to do with loan administration and management. Please, it will so please management for you to go to one of these branches and manage the branch and ensure profitability from this location. I don't know if you're together. And he was like, Obona, please, I think I will need you in this very journey for me to make it. That was how I got to know him. So when he now came to the branch management level to come and join forces with us to manage a branch of a bank, he now discovered that this risk that we used to write on paper and we used to write and discuss, it's not just something you just discuss and throw away. It's something you need to open your eyes and actually make out time to know exactly what these risks are all about and how to go about them. So that's why we say both the finance director and internal audit and accountant should take the lead and support risk management thinking and culture in not just service but corporate departments across the organization. It's not just something you sit back based on your profession and whatever, you just be writing and theorizing and whatever. We need to put head together and support, not just write, but also think. If there is a risk inherent in the transaction, what do we possibly do? Do we close shop and walk away? Are we together? Do we now say, because there is risk inherent in this transaction, we don't do it again? Or do we now say, okay, because there is so much fraud in the market, there is so much fraud in the banking sector, don't do business again? Or do we say, because borrowers are not always paying as at when due, the default rate is so high, past due obligations, non-performing loan portfolio is so high and whatever, please shut down. No more loan disbursement. There's nothing like that again. Remember, where do we get our revenue from? It's from rate of inflation. Right. So all of us are involved. The next slide, please. All right. Now, what is this risk all about? I will say that risk is what? It's like fire. It's like what? Fire. So if controlled, it will do what? It will help you. But if not controlled, it will do what? It will destroy you. It's like fire. A truckload of petroleum is moving from one location to another. There is so much risk in it. But with the risk, it's inherent in the movement, stop us from moving one petroleum from one location to another. No. What is our job? Our job is to reduce what? The risk. That's why it has to be controlled to the risk. You understand? All right. And what the prophet said, risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. Of course, there are so many things we are going to discuss on this very slide. Because when you look at some certain organizations and some certain centers, it looks as if we actually don't know what we are doing. And that is why it's like everything is flat there and fraud is taking toll on us. Let's go. All right. Now, do you say because a ship is parked, is by the shore, and is safe there? Of course, when you say a ship is shore, is it not safe? Is it not safe? It's safe. Of course. A ship in the harbor is also what? Is ship
due meant to be kept or be packed by the shop? The answer is what? No. What is the ship meant to do? Meant to what? To serve. Meaning that as long as we are business operators, we must be involved in business. And if we are to do business, that means we have to find a way around this very risk that we're discussing this morning. Next slide, please. All right. Of course, we say that modern establishments now face much more diverse collection of obstacles and potential dangers from the usual thing that we used to know. You see that picture there. It is us, the accountants. It is us, the auditors. It is us, the financial directors, that are supposed to provide a leeway for organizations, for corporate organs, for companies to be able to jump over, to maneuver, to find a way around risk. That obstacle there, it represents risk. Of course. Now, there are global trends that are leading to increased risk around us. And we see the rising importance of risk management in financial institutions and services. And these global trends include globalization. You know, the world has become a global village, not even that is becoming. You can see that media platform, internet has taken over everything. You can sit here and communicate and do transaction with somebody in the UK, with somebody in the US. You can sit here without even going to the banking hall and do transfers. You can even sit here and disburse loan or cash. There are, fintech now. You just click and they will ask you how much do you need, and you supply all the information that is needed, and there it goes. You collect the money. So nobody comes back to the banking hall again, or to you that is the credit administrator, or you to you that is a processor, to ask you for anything like that. So these are also increasing the risk that are inherent in such operations. Digitalization, greater product complexity, new businesses are coming, new companies are springing up every day, increasing competition. Banks are coming up everywhere, microfinance are springing up everywhere. So many things happening. The new players and competitors are springing up everywhere. Now, when you look at it globally, you now discover that these trends are simply increasing and adding to the number of risks that we have within each guy. Of course, it continues. Regulatory imbalances. I don't need to say much on this, because when we look at what's happening around us today, you ask yourself, do we really have regulators? When you hear money, the amount of money that's missing, when you hear this ministry, when you hear some kind of information, you will ask yourself, do we really have regulators within such establishments? Of course, accounting and reporting deficiencies, I'm going to base much on this. Increasing variety of risks and their interactions, catastrophic of corporate failures, complex management processes, and artificial intelligence. All these things put together are all adding to the increased risk that we have within. And when you look at this, it's a sector. It only represents what we just discussed, of course, changing regulatory frameworks, emerging technologies and business processes, product differentiation, new financial instruments. All these things put together, they all have peculiar and unique risks that are inherent in them. That is the more reason why the accountants that we have today needs to wake up so as to take risk and also provide a way out of such risks that is also looking at us. The next slide. Of course, we say proper preparation prevents poor performance. Is it true? Is it true? I could remember some years back when I was a young man. In my office then, they will tell you, you are not allowed to wear jackets. As you are not allowed to come outside or to visit any client without your jacket. Without your suit. Even if it is so hot and you are not even driving, you cannot be found outside without your jacket. The rule was so hard. Guess what? Auditors are at the top of it. They are, in fact, I don't know if they even have any other work to do. They are busy sleeping, they are looking at poorly managed, that issues within their operating environment, within their market, will be much harder to manage. And of course, that is why you see them struggle like that young man trying to climb that mountain top. Because people that are supposed to provide leverage, people that are supposed to give her what she take, climb, are not doing their job. Now go to the next slide, you see what I'm trying to say. Now for organizations that have been able to put up a good, when they are so scared of a particular market, there are some markets they will say don't go there because this market is so tough, you know, that kind of thing. You know, when I was coming, I used to be in the north. When I was coming to the southeast, my friends were telling me, you are going to die, you know, Mr. Bonner, one of all places, and you want to come to Owerri. I didn't say anything though, but Owerri. Of course, are we together? But because I'm so convinced, I know where I'm going to, I know the stuff I'm made of, I came to it, and I've survived. I spent over 5 years here, and still going, and things are happening. So that is what it takes. When we sit back and actually understand what this race is all about, that's exactly how you can see that young lady now. She's well secured. Is it true? From that picture, she's what? She's well secured. So you don't need to kill business. All you need to do is to think around that business. How does this business fly? You don't need to shout. You don't need to become an enemy with someone that you are working with. All you need to do is just to think out what are the risks that are inherent in this very operation, in this very transaction, in this relationship. Whatever we are doing, you will now provide solution. And once you're a solution provider, I mean the organization, the company, the ministry, the parastatal, whatever, wherever you are coming from, if it's an academic environment, it will succeed. It will just be moving on autopilot. But if you are there, let me tell you, those of us that are not accountants, that are not chartered accountants or branch auditors or whatever, you know, there is this perception we used to have about auditors. Once you come to a location and you start brandishing yourself, you are a killer of transaction and whatever. You know what people do? Managers will now start looking for the way to avoid you. Instead of coming to you, they will now first talk to somebody else on top to come and manage you. Even when ordinarily you're supposed to be in friendship with people within the environment, they will avoid you because you made yourself an enemy. You're not a team player. So that is what we are talking about. Go to the next slide. Of course, we are saying how we can join hands together. Then what is risk? Go, sir. Of course, Institute of Risk Management of United Kingdom defined risk as a combination of the probability of an event and its consequence. Event and consequence. Of course, an event cannot happen without a consequence. Every event has its consequence, and this consequence can ranges from positive or what? Negative. So if I am going into a transaction, it's either I'm going to make profit from that transaction or what? I will make loss. So it now behoves on me and my colleagues or my team members to now think and to analyze and profile this transaction very well. Where are the areas of risk? Now, what do we do about the risk? Do we tune it down or do we tune it up? Or do we, because of the risk, abandon it totally? There's a transaction I'm handling right now. You know, an importer within the country is trying to bring in 100,000 metric tons of diesel from South Africa to Nigeria. And the ship is not going to port in Nigeria. It will port in Togo. And we've sent it for analysis and for the guys at the top, you know, the risk managers to look at it and advise us on the way forward. Of course, you know, somebody asked the question, if this very ship ports in Lome, how are we going to move the products from Lome to Nigeria? Are we all together? There's so much risk in it. It's two of us. For the ship to even move from South Africa to Nigeria, is there any guarantee? Is there any guarantee? There's no guarantee. There are so many risks inherent in it. So it's all about event and its consequence. So ISO 31000 said it is effect, but the effect of the uncertainty around the objectives is what matters. You know, if I am to be made the principal of a school or the manager of an establishment, What's the guarantee that I'm going to manage well? What's the guarantee that I will lead this organization to profit? Of course, that is the fact. Go ahead, sir. All right. So the possibility that an event will occur and adversely affect the achievements of objectives is what we are looking at, sir. All right. So gradually, risks are no longer regarded as hazards to be avoided, but in most cases as opportunities to be embraced and expropriated. You know, opportunities. When you look at these very risks, I work with an insurance company. I work with Hayes Holding, Hayes Insurance. So when we look at transactions, we also look at, in fact, once risk is profiled, the next thing that happens, you've created a lacuna for an underwriter. True of us. When you want to, for instance, somebody is asking for a loan from a bank, and you want to use your house as collateral. You know, what's the guarantee that this house will not catch fire and the bank will lose out? That means the insurance should come in and cover that house. That is risk profiled and solution provided. So risk is no longer, it's not just a hazard thing. How do we, you know, look at the opportunities that are there and to mitigate them? Sir, the next slide, please. Of course, when you look at this very slide represents, you know, the various angles and types of operational risk. We have financial risk, we have strategic risk, and we have compliance risk. Go ahead, sir. The slide will be sent to you. Of course, you can read it on your own. Now, what are the risks peculiar to public sector? We may not really go too much into details about this because time is not on our side. Of course, we have, you know, the risk that is external, the one that comes from outside economic downturn, you know, external events and perils that happen within the public sector. The next slide, please. Of course, we also have internal risk within ministries and parastatals. These ones is the ones that can manage budget constraints, of course, internal conflicts and disaster control. These are things that happen within public sector setting. I don't need to go too deep because, you know, on this, when you look at the import of this very presentation, you start, you know, there is so much emphasis on public sector. You know, those of us that are coming from the public sector angle, there is so much to be done. And there is so much to wake up, there is so much to do for us to actually save our country, for us to actually, you know, salvage the situation that is happening within us today. All right? So we have strategic risk and others. The next slide, please. And of course, here we have the major projects. You know, when government embark on projects, what are the risks in them? When government say they want to borrow, are they borrowing to embark on this project, to execute this project, or they are borrowing to enrich themselves or to reduce their pockets? Do we actually have auditors within those establishments that these projects are going on? You see a project will spring up and all of a sudden it fizzles out. The project was not executed, nothing was done. So how about the money that was allocated for that project? What happened? Is there anybody there that is actually calling up, vetting and doing his job as the auditor or whatever? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves. Go ahead, sir. The next slide. All right. So when you look at the financial institutions, generally are exposed to the following risks among others. Look at illegal, strategic, operational, credit, market risk, liquidity risk, regulatory risk, of course, compliance risk, and reputational risk. All this is put together. These are things that must be managed. Of course, those of us that are coming from financial institutions, of course, you know, you cannot navigate through financial operations without embarking on this. But what we are saying is that when these things are profiled, how do we manage them? How do we regulate them? How do we also help the business operators within those sectors to also find their way to ensure that these risks are not killing the business, and also we are not falling to it. Go ahead, sir. All right. This slide goes into details on the meaning or the definition of all these various risk operations, strategic compliance, and regulatory. The next slide. Reputational, credit, liquidity. Go ahead, sir. All right, you have market risk, you have rating, and all right, the next slide. All right, now this one, you know, the country risk. You know that globally, as we speak now, Nigeria is a risk. You know, I was in Ghana some months ago, and I discovered that Don Look, Mcpd, and others, they've moved to Ghana. Is it true? Am I talking? Why? Can somebody tell us why?
Because of economic rundown and bad governance.
Did he hear you? He said it's because of economic rundown and bad governance.
In addition to what he has said, insecurity drives them away.
Insecurity is driving them away. All right, now. The first person said economic rundown and bad governance. The second person said insecurity.
High operational cost because of poor infrastructure.
High operational cost because of poor infrastructure. See where we are now.
For example, mentioning when they left Nigeria, they cited reference that when they went to Ghana for 1 year, they didn't spend any time on diesel. Now, why when they went, yes, there was high operational concerning diesel.
Valuation of our currency.
I hope I'm talking to people. Now, can you agree with me? Now, does that summarize the fact that Nigeria is? We don't even need to start allocating the meaning of risk again. That means we are now a risk. No, yes, because if companies like, honestly, I was angry that day. I was in Ghana actually. So when I discovered that, Mcpd of all places, even Unilever, they've all gone to Ghana. Honestly. So if these guys are moving to Ghana, you know what it means? What it means is that those of us that are Nigerians that used to work with these companies now, they will advise us to do what? To resign politely. Your services are no longer needed. We are sorry. So we are sorry. So they will advise you to. You have lost your job. Our unemployment rate has. You know the worst thing that can happen to anybody is for you to be gainfully employed and along the line you lose your job. It's better for you not to be employed at all than that you are employed and the society knows that this is where you belong to, sir. When they know this is where you belong to, before the month ends, before your salary comes, they will send you list. Sir, my school fees has not been paid. Sir, I need this. Sir, I need that. Nobody will ever remember that you are no longer working. I don't know if you're getting it. And these guys are moving in masses. So meaning that it's also a risk. So our country now is what? It's a risk. So when you look at it, so you now see that, you now see that, and the people that contributed to Nigeria becoming a big risk, you follow? Yes, because if you have done your job, if I have done my job, maybe we will not get to where we are today. Because if you can also summon courage to say things the way it is, without looking at faces, the worst that can happen is that you are a bad boy. Yes, I was sent to a branch of Intercontinental Bank then, in Benue, to manage that location. And there was one prominent chief, I won't call his name because I know that there are chief and normal people here. Very prominent man then. He was looking for an overdraft. And he came to my office asking for that overdraft. And based on available information I have, and looking at his transaction and his account number and everything, he does not qualify for it. And considering his kind of person, it's a reputational risk. You know what's called reputational lending? When you have to give me this money because of my size and stature in the society. If I approve this, honestly, this man will not pay. And who are you to go and tell him that his loan has matured, he should pay? And I declined. I said, sir, it's not possible. He now went behind and now went and told there's one small boy. That's what he called me. So there's one small boy they brought to this bank, and that boy is refusing to give him loan. And he had to talk to the guys at the top. And the guys at the top now gave me a matching order. Now, do you want to lose your job? I said, no, sir. Oh yeah, give me that loan request. And I gave it. And they signed. Are we together? 90 days after, the facility matured. And no payment. Not even one single deposit in that account. And I reported to my boss. said, managing with wisdom. And I have to manage it with wisdom. Yes. 120 days after, that's 4 months, there was no kobo in that account. I still reported again. They said, just pay him a visit. And I went to his house and paid him a visit. Guess what he gave me? He gave me a carton of wine, a carton of Spanish wine, and gave me tea fare to fuel my car and give to my colleagues that came with me. But he did not talk about how to pay that money. Is somebody with me? Of course, we need to also get these things done for us to get it right in the public sector. Go ahead. All right. This man, of course, all these things are. Sorry, just. All right. See, we need to. When you do all this, continuously identifying risks and evaluating them, determining an appropriate method for treatment of identified risks, and providing. Look at this. Monitoring and reporting at various levels of management and governance is an issue. It's an issue in Nigeria because it's one thing to monitor and escalate. It's another thing for the person you have escalated to take action. Are we together? You are somehow confused. You are somehow frustrated. I know that some of us, you report, nobody's taking any action. God will help us. Let's go ahead. Because of time, all this, still in continuation risk management in the public sector. Go ahead, sir. The next slide. Of course, all this, sorry. So how can accountants, go ahead, sir. So how accountants can support enterprise risk management implementation in organizations? Look at this. Of course, the risk management is a key element of corporate governance in public sector organizations. So in terms of structures, processes, corporate values, culture, and behavior, so it is a cornerstone. It is something that we have to do. It is a process that we must establish, and it's something we must think about. Not just wish it. We must think it and we must act it. Go ahead, sir. So when you look at all this, it's all talking about the enterprise risk management. What is it all about? It's a process that is effected by an entity's board of directors. Kudos to Anna for them to have thought it wise to bring in such, a topic in what you're doing today. Meaning that when you get this slide, you can look at it on your own and in your various locations and disciplines and organizations and your place of work. You can go through it and also start. It's not just in reading, it's in execution and implementation. That is where it matters. Of course, applied in a strategy setting and across the enterprise, across the globe, across the country, across the establishment, and designed to identify, of course, potential events that may affect the entity. When you have discovered there are potential events, there are things that will affect that organization. There are things that will hamper on the interest of the organization. Of course, what you have done is to save the organization from such a calamity. Go ahead, sir. That's what enterprise risk management is all about. This is what committee of sponsors organizations say about enterprise risk management. It's a culture, capabilities, and practices integrated with strategy and execution that organizations rely on to manage risk in creating, preserving, and realizing value. Of course, when you do this, definitely your value is enhanced. Your value is realized. Are we together? People will want to do business with you when they discover that their interest is protected, their interest is secured. What makes some organizations tick is the way they go about transactions. It's the way they follow businesses. When you say this organization is doing big, it's because of the way they have done things over time. Are we together? All right, let's go ahead. So, the next slide, sir. Of course, element of enterprise risk management, of course, analysis, risk across the enterprise, you manage and you elevate. Of course, when you look at, it's not something that should be done in isolation. It's not something that should be done by one single office. It's something that should be done by everybody. By the time all of us key into it, I'm in private sector, I'm doing the same thing. I'm in public sector, I'm doing the same thing. Everybody has born this same idea. I think let's make this country great. Let's make this country mighty. I once worked in Lidway, and there's this pension management angle of what we're doing there. When you hear, you know, so and so million was missing, it's really embarrassing. Go ahead. All right. So you look at how accountants can support enterprise risk management. Go ahead. All right. Go ahead, sir. Right. So it's all about us. It's all about a joint effort. It's all about you coming together. Like I said when I started, it's a consciousness. These are things that you know before. The essence is just to arouse it. The essence is just to like remind you of it so that when we go back, you start putting them into practice. And I pray God will definitely help us as we do that in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much. We just listened to Mr. Ogbonna Mcpd delivering a paper on perspectives on risk management and accounting in the public sector. Can we give a round of applause again to him? I wish to call on the chairman of the Mcpd committee, Chief Peter Ayam, FCNA, to give an analysis of this paper.
Let's clap for him again, please. Please, do you have any question? Any one or two questions? Can we take one or two questions? Okay, yeah, please come. Very fast about it. This is, madam. Okay, two questions. Please, your name, your state, your membership number, fast about it. Please come.
Good morning, my personal colleague. My name is. My question is actually on accountability paper. Yes, presented. Yes, yes, sir. Yes. I will also have an agreement. Yes. All right. Okay. My name is Comfort Manasseh. I'm from Benue State. My number is NCA for PMAT stroke 2039-214. My question is not just to the resource person, but to my professional colleagues and the public servants. In the course of our career as public servant, this topic has been identified, taught, on several times, in the course of our career. But the question is, I'm asking the way out, the way forward, because in as much as, despite the fact that all this we have learned, have taught us in several courses in the course of our career, you will discover that accountability and transparency is more of a theoretical issue. But the practical aspect of it is not really visible, not seen. Because you will see clearly accountability in the public service is zero. Both from the high management to the lowest management. So I'm actually wondering the way forward for us. Are we ready to move forward, and what is the way forward, sir?
Thank you very much. I don't know whether you are here in the early stage. I did mention, and I tried to practicalize it. And the way forward is starting with you and starting with I did mention it. I used myself as an example, creating that basic foundational thing. And if you are willing to do it, the change starts with I and you. If you do your own part and the other person also do his or her own part, I think we'll get it right. But the problem, like I mentioned, is that we think that accountability is the other person's responsibility and not my own responsibility. And you women, I agree that when you are asked to render account, it looks like suspicion. But we agreed that it is not suspicion, it is responsibility. It is incumbent on us. So if we take it that way, I think we'll move it forward. Thank you.
My name is Barrister Sir Okenze Joe Okoro 3989 and Buddha Branch. I'm very glad to have listened to this topic, perspective risk management. I want to thank the headship of Annan for introducing this particular topic. And I am particularly overwhelmed when the issue of risk management in public sector. At this particular time in this country, the risk management in public sector becomes more germane than before. Before now, I have attended a lot of Mcpd. Risk management is one topic that when I saw it, I decided that I must attend this particular session. I want to thank you. However, I want to plead that next year, if it is possible, let this topic come again. And in presenting the paper, I agree that he went holistic in terms of risk management, both in private sector and public sector. Our ministries, our accountants in public sector go through a lot of risks, management risks and operational risks in the public sector. So we should try and give more time to dwell particularly in the area of public sector risk management. Because that is the area we as accountants, not as I agree, because we will not all the time be in the public sector. We also need to have an idea of risks in private sector. So I wish this request is considered. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's clap for him again. I'll clap for our lecturer again. Thank you very much, sir. Please, sir, on behalf of the President and Chairman of Council, I have to present you for honoring us today and for a lecture well taken. Thank you. Please, we are moving on. Before we have just 5 minutes for announcement, then we'll enter to the syndicate. First, I want to call on the program coordinator of Imo State to come and address us for just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes, man. Please come. Then we'll have 1 or 2 other announcements, then we'll enter the syndicate. Thank you.
Good morning, your colleague. Good morning, our able president, though not physically present here, Canon Professor E. Osisioma.
They are accountable. The meaning of financial regulation, as we all know, it is the rules and regulations guiding the preparation, conduct of financial industries. For instance, banking sector, credit union, risk managers, insurance companies, and what have you. We cannot conclude or mention financial regulation without mentioning accountability. Financial regulation and accountability are closely related and they are all intertwined. Accountability, as we rightly know, is being accountable to what we are giving, especially in monetary form. An accountant are given resources, and we are under obligation, according to our lecturer, that you must render an account. It is an obligation. It is really an obligation for you to render an account. In the same paper presentation, he also made mention of two concepts of public accountability. The two concepts he mentioned: number one, say rendering an account. I think that's where the obligation has to come in for every accountant to make sure that you render an account of your stewardship. And it's when we are doing this that our economy is definitely going to improve. We must maintain our integrity. There must be a high level of independence in the discharge of your duties. As a professional accountant, we must maintain that high esteem. Must be able to make sure that the ethics of our professionalism must be fully taken into consideration, despite the odds that may be involved. He also mentioned the second concept he mentioned, though he did not dwell on it, is holding to an account. I expected him to dwell on that, but because of the time, he moved forward. Looking at also accountability from the presentation also, you may witness that accountability has principles. Some of the principles he mentions there is that you must clearly define your role, clear expectation and evaluation of what you are doing. There must be credibility in your reporting system. For your accountability to be valuable, there must be credibility. In the same presentation also, we observe the fact that accountability also have dimension. We have internal dimension, external. We also have political dimension, managerial, post, and S&. It's all there in your book. When you go to the book, you will see these concepts. They are all mentioned here. You will read more on it for you to be appraised of the way of that. That is for holding accountability. Then we have legal framework. I shall stop here. Let me summarize now. So in terms of legal framework.
Please. We are not here for you. We are giving you 5 minutes. We are accountants. If from here we know where we are going to. I accountability we are talking about. Come here, summarize 5 minutes and let's go away. Let's clap for him, please. Let's clap for them. Thank you. Second group, please come. Oh, let's stay here. All the whole group should come at the same time, please. All the whole group come at the German secretary, come at the same time.
Thank you very much. Group B, please. John, you, Saya, and Peter Bless Nesta of Group B. I'll crave the indulgence of Group A to just move to the other side so that the speakers can be in front. Group A, please move further down. Yes. Group C, Podu, Joseph, and Charles Emeka, please step forward. Group B, stand here, please. Group B, stand here, and then stand close to the chairman. Group D, Michael N. and Sylvia N. here. Group E, the final group, J.K. Okere and Nze Okechukwu Elechi. I believe you are all complete now. You have 5 minutes to make your presentation. Remember that your use of time is quite important in your scoring. No matter what you have to say, no matter how important it is, when you don't present it timely, in a timely fashion, you lose the audience and it doesn't give you the mark that you deserve. Thank you. So the second group will be presenting government accounting and reporting, post IPSAS accrual adoption, that was presented yesterday by Mrs. Fami Yuwa. All right, so please give a round of applause for Group B to present their paper.
Thank you. Due to wanting of time, my name remains Ndasaya John Umaru, a prospective inductee, with my secretary,
Peter Blessing Esther.
Thank you very much. We are asked to, in our group, to talk about, in summary, government accounting and reporting, post IPSAS accrual adoption. We look at it critically and ask ourselves, what is government accounting? Government accounting is a process of recording and management of all financial transactions incurred by the government, which include her income and expenditure. Having looked at that very critically, we observe that we, the professional accountants here and those to be, are the managers of these government resources, and therefore there is need for us to give accounts of its income and expenditure. But it's quite unfortunate, the World Bank discovered in the year 2010 in her research that we don't give that proper accounting information. As a result, they see Nigeria and the need to adopt IPSAS. Why IPSAS then? And what is IPSAS? IPSAS stands for acronym for International Public Sector Accounting Standard. And this International Public Sector Accounting Standard, what does it bring to us? And what is the benefit for it and for all of us as accountants and the nation at large? Having discovered the loopholes discovered as a result of our activities, because we don't give a full disclosure of the financial transaction of public entities, then the IPSAS comes to be, which has now given us, the government and all MDs at all levels, the unified chart of account, the IPSAS budget, templates, and so on and so forth, so that we can now give a unified and a complete disclosure of these public entities' financial transactions. Because with IPSAS adoption, all the loopholes will not be there again. Those things that are missing will be brought out to light for the end users to make an informed decision concerning our financial transactions. However, it is key and very important when all accountants, and in particular government, adopt the 42 IPSAS standard, because this 42 IPSAS standard gives everything concerning this disclosure, accountability, and transparency in government financial transactions. And when we have that, I'm sure, very, very sure, my dear colleagues, that we will definitely.
2. Mandatory continuing training program to the stakeholders. Stakeholders, we all need internal and external. All the stakeholders that are involved must be trained for them to know the effect. It has a lot of constraints and negative effect on our economy. These things is totally what we are discussing all about. So when once there is training, thank God our president has said they have a meeting with the House of Assembly and others to inform them the negative effect on the Nigerian image, so that this thing should be done in the right direction. 3, to create an enabling environment where strong institutions can thrive. We are talking about institutions, we need stronger institutions. 4, good whistleblowing policy. 5, severe punishment to offenders. And my colleagues will compliment.
Also, no leader, be it religious, traditional, or political, should be seen as sacrosanct on issues relating to violation of laws and accounting practices. Religious leaders could do more by preaching against fraud, ill-gotten wealth, and stop recognizing and giving citizens in that category religious titles. Traditional rulers should also do the same by not rushing to give citizens in those category traditional titles, because it encourages the young ones in toeing to that part of disorder.
In fact, the society should be seeing such papers as has. The executive should try and do their work, abide by the oath they took upon taking the mantle of leadership. They should help the nation to establish strong institutions such as the legislature, the judiciary, civil service, and even the security. The legislative arm of government should try and do their work very well. Stop running an errand boys to the executive. Impeach the erring executive accordingly without delay. The judiciary should also do their own jobs. Stop delaying cases. Stop taking bribes. Stop giving judgment based on sentiments and technicalities rather than based on established facts. Also, as up till now, many states are yet to pay the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Yet, inflation is on the high. It is by His grace of God that the civil servants in those states with such minimum wage can see opportunities to cut corners and leave it. The legislature should also put the executive on their toes and ensure that local government autonomy is achieved. Furthermore, professional accountants in Nigeria should do more and be conversant with public financial management rules and guidelines. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Give them a round of applause. Encourage them. It's not easy. Thank you. That's Group C. We move on to Group D, and we have, I don't know if Group B is supposed to win this thing. I don't understand it. Okay, we have Mr. Michael and Sylvia N. Iheze to present revenue generation and tax reforms in 5 minutes.
The President and Chairman of Council Labanan, Reverend Colonel Professor E.C. Osisioma, FCNL, represented by the first Vice Chairman of the Association, the immediate past President, Professor Akaro Meinoma, my professional colleagues and inductees. I stand here to present on the behalf of Syndicate Group 4 on the topic revenue generation and tax reform. We have a table of contents over there, as you can see, but because of time, we are going to follow the paper as it is. In Nigeria, that is our introduction. In Nigeria, there are very many ways of generating revenue, which tax is one of them. In accordance with the paper presenter, Professor Pius D.C. Okoye, PhD at CNN, the federal policies structure adheres totally to the same principles of fiscal regime, and this system has serious implications on how tax system is managed. The system is characterized by necessary complex discussion and largely equitable taxation laws that have limited application in the formal sector that dominate the economy. Definitions or terms. What is revenue generation? Revenue generation is the official way or act of raising funds for government to embark on developmental projects. And what is tax? We look at tax as simply being the composite levy which the government imposes on her citizens and her corporate organizations. And what is tax reform? Tax reform is the process of the government coming up with new tax legislations to improve on the old one in place. The importance of taxation. Tax the system of raising money by government to fund developmental programs and regulate the production of certain goods and services and protect infant industry in Nigeria. And so it is very important we have it. And then we have sources of tax. We have the personal income tax, which as civil servants who are here, it it is deducted right away at the source, and many others are there. The history of the Nigerian tax system. The Nigerian tax system dates back to the 18th century, where traditional rulers and local law enforcement agencies were in charge of tax collection from their citizens, and so on and so on. Nigerian sources of revenue. Sources of revenue refer to the various ways and procedures by which individuals, organizations, or government adequately generate necessary income to meet numerous impending expenditure. Government has a lot to do for the people, and so it is only when the government has money that roads will be constructed, hospitals will be built, schools will be built, and so many others. Tax reforms and revenue generation. Tax reform is an improved tax administration to raise more funds for the provision of economic and social benefits to the citizens, while revenue generation is the process of planning, marketing, and selling products with the ultimate aim of generating income. Reform revenue from taxation. Revenue from taxation include direct and indirect taxes. Direct taxes. These are taxes classified on individuals and companies. And indirect taxes, these are taxes raised from goods and commodities. Classification objectives of taxation. They are to resolve continuous issues in taxation, to increase the confidence of the public on the system, thereby promoting volume. To take us to the way forward, way forward. And then, summary, the major tax form in Nigeria could be fed as follows: individual income tax reform and others. Thank you very much. Thank you for listening. Presented by Michael, NIDL.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Group D. We proceed to Group E, presenting the topic, Perspectives on Risk Management and Accounting in Public Sector. Please welcome J.K. Okere and Ize Okechukwu Elechi. 5 minutes.
Thank you very much. To maximize time, I'd like to ask my colleague to present. Thank you.
Standing on existing protocol, this is Syndicate A. Perspectives on Risk Management and Accounting in the Public Sector by Olayinka Odotola. The lecturer in the preamble of the lecture identified the following important points: that the public sector finance professionals must be active players in the organization of risk management process. The internal audit professionals take a risk-based approach, both in their review and auditing in the risk management process for effectiveness. The accountants lead and support risk management, thinking and culture in service and corporate departments across the organization, among other postulates. Also, the lecturer, as part of his unique method of introducing the subject matter, gave the following quotes: risk is like fire. It's controlled, it will help you. But if uncontrolled, it will rise up to destroy you. Theodore Roosevelt. Risk comes from knowing what to do. And that is by Warren Buffett. A ship in harbor is safe. That is true, we all know. But is that what the ship is there built for? The answer remains no. I quote John A. Sher. Thank you. From the quote, we can agree that, lecturer, that nothing ventures, nothing wins. Or, in our local parlance, as Bokwe, Ryokwe, Onujo, Ababa. And that simply translates and goes saying that we must take risks. Be a risk taker and not a risk averter. definition of rape. The lecturer defined rape as the combination of the probability of event and the consequence. And that consequence can range from positive to negative. Also, he said, and put it this way, that definition in his lecture, rates peculiar to public sector as a matter of emphasis. One, we have external rates, we have internal rates, we have structure, and we have disaster recovery. We have major projects. Furthermore, he identified other types of general rates. Number one, operational rates, compliance regulatory rates, credit rates, liquidity rates, market rates, rating rates, and so on. What are these trends? More complex market, globalization, digitalization, new businesses, traditional and online. There are new players in the business. Regulatory imbalance, accounting and reporting deficiencies, catastrophic corporate failures, complex manufacturing process, and artificial intelligence, to mention but a few. There we go again. We have some obstacles hindering risk management. And what are they? New financial instruments, increasingly sensitive markets, emerging technologies and business processes. There we go. Risk management, and he defined risk management as taking a deliberate action to mitigate or to reduce the impact of loss as a result of the occurrence of risky events. That is, increasing the odds of good outcomes and reducing the odds of bad outcomes. There I say again, be a risk taker. What is public risk management process in the public sector? The typical risk management. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Group D for that electrifying performance. So the group syndicate team, the judges are putting together the scores, and we'll need 5 minutes for them to put it together. Remember, they will be judging based on knowledge of the paper presented. It's not very easy to summarize 45 minutes paper and put it together in 5 minutes. You should have been able to touch all the aspects of the paper. Your use of time is very important, and your composure will also be considered. So the judges will come up in 5 minutes. In the meantime, please be informed that Anna University Paul Plateau State have a desk on the left-hand side of the hall. Through the door or by the high table, they have a desk there. Please feel free to ask them any questions regarding MSc and PhD programs. Remember, an investment in your personal development cannot be wasted. It will always come as a value addition to you and your career. No strike whatsoever will derail your career path. You will spend the necessary time, and in record-breaking time, you round up and take your certificate. The pioneer set have already graduated from Anna University, and by September, a new session will commence. So quickly get your forms for MSc and PhD programs and be on the path of success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Can we clap for them again, please? Like I said yesterday, it's not easy to come out here and talk to us. And even the lady that said, the last group that said that I was presenting her own, the Italian she was using, the English, I don't know, but lovely. Let's clap for her again, please. Wonderful. We must go to Broadcasting Corporation or somewhere to be a newscaster. And we were understanding it, we understood everything they said. Very, very well. Okay, we are going to announce the result now. Please, it's very important for us to take it. Very important. Very important. Take it down and say it's very important. Syndicate group is very important. Whenever I want you to come out, summarize like she just said. You summarize it and bring it down for us, like a communicate. Thank you very much. Please let me call the MC to come and announce the results, and so we can go forward.
Please, this is a note of warning to all of us. As we recognize these eminent personalities, you are expected to clap. Please, even with standing ovation, because this is the leadership. Please, we will be starting everything again from. You should appreciate the leadership of the association, please. We recognize the presence of the President and Chairman of Council of Ireland, in person of Reverend Canon, Professor Benjamin Chuka Osisioma, FCNA, an emeritus professor, a leading icon of accountancy. Thank you so much. The first Vice President of Ireland, Dr. James Ekera, the minimum, FCNA. The eminent Vice President of Ireland, Professor Muhammad Akaro Mainoma, MNI, FCNA. Anand Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Kayode Olushola Pashua, FCNA. Anand Membership Secretary, Alhaji Ibrahim Uzaini Gidado, FCNA. Council Member, Chairman Mcpd Committee, Chief Peter Ayawo, FCNA. The Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Education and Training, Alhaji Rahman Bello, FCNA, Commandant Secretary of Abuja. We recognize the presence of the Director of Legal and Council Affairs of Ireland from the Secretariat in Abuja, Barrister John Ama. You're most welcome, sir. The Grand Chairman, Imo State, Sir Chukuma Uchiara, FCNA. You're most welcome, sir. The President, sir, I wish to crave your indulgence to reel out the order of proceedings for this occasion as we have done. First, we have a paper on public financial regulation and accountability, which was delivered by Dr. Ayara, a very erudite intellectual from the Financial Reporting Council, which was followed by a paper on perspectives on risk management and accounting in the public sector, which was delivered by Mr. Bona Mifuna. And this, from there we tracked to the presentation by syndicate groups, which was an analysis and delivery of the papers that have been delivered by all the persons. And we have the winners. We have them in the order of the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And the President, we wish to crave your indulgence to please present these awards to the winners, respectively. So, the President, sir. Okay. Sir, I wish to announce the recipients of the awards in this order. The fifth position, Group C, please step forward. Group C. Please step forward and receive your award from the President and Chairman of Council with the presidential action.
You see, the courage to participate and the skill to come as far as you have come. Next time, I'm sure you'll do better. Congratulations.
Hello, please. We announce the fourth position, which is Group A. Can you please step forward? Group A, fourth position, step forward. Group B, the third position, you can come out. The second position, Group B, come forward. And the ultimate winner, the first position.
Which group is this? A.
This is the fourth position, Group A.
Congratulations, A.
The next is the third position, Group D.
Group D. Congratulations. Congratulations, lady. Yeah.
Group B, second position. Group B, second position.
Congratulations. Well done.
And the ultimate winner, the prize winner, Group E, the first position with 254 points. Please step forward.
Congratulations, Group E. You see, in placement, you are Group E. That should sound like last, but you came first. You have defied whatever restraints that were placed on your path by your positioning. You have gone beyond your pedigree. That will continue to be your lot in life. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. President, sir. As it is, we have celebrated and decorated all our winners. We believe we all are winners. And on that note, we progress to the next item on the list, which will be the delivery of the closing remarks by the President and Chairman of Council, Reverend Canon Professor Benjamin Sherman, FCNA. After which, the President will be entertaining questions, recommendations, comments, and observations in a session titled Meet the President. It is on this note that I wish to invite the President to deliver his closing remarks for this occasion. Mr. President, sir. Please, a warm round of applause for the President as he delivers his closing remarks for this occasion.
Hello? Please, I ask that you permit me to please address you sitting down. Am I permitted? I believe in participatory democracy. Okay, closing remarks. May I express my profound gratitude to you all for participating actively in what I would call the miracle of Owerri 2022. In more ways than one, it has been indeed a miracle. And I want to thank all of you for being part of it. When we started, we were not sure we will have even a sprinkling of the normal attendance we used to have. But here we are. I told you yesterday that somebody told me, I said, there's no way we can have, the only way we can have up to 1,000 people here is well, the count as at yesterday was 1,640. And you made it possible. I want to thank you. And I want to believe that you have learned one or two things as a result of the interactions you've had here. Let me say that Anan is a family. A special family in more ways than one. When we come around for Mcpd like this, it's an opportunity for you to meet old friends, renew your relationships, renew acquaintances, collect a network of individuals across the length and breadth of this nation. And it's legacy that our founding fathers have left for us. We generate money from this MCPD. Things are getting so difficult because you're the heroes and heroines of the Annan dream. Without you, we'll not do it. Once again, thank you very much. I've also always insisted that we are here to serve you. I know the normal thing, you are the masters and you are the servants. No. I prefer to look at it from this point of view. You are the masters and you give us the privilege to serve. Our prayer is for grace to serve you acceptably. So that when we are done, you will not be filled with complaints and grievances. So we want to thank you. We want to thank all who have contributed to make this a huge success. The government of Imo State, led by distinguished Senator Hope Uzodinma, yes. Onwa Oyoko, and particularly the Deputy Governor, a friend I've not seen for quite a while, Professor Placid in Jogo. We thank the branch here, the Chairman Sir Chukuma Uchehara, for mobilizing his men and women. We thank the LOC for rising to the challenge of duty. I'm not saying that it's been all perfect, but you've tried in your different ways to give us a passable MCPD. Very soon I'll hear your complaints and your comments. I hope we fed you well. I always insist that feeding is a very important part of our MCPD. Anytime we hear that our caterers are messing you up, we will mess them up. Because we feel that we owe you a duty to take care of you once you come here. Thank you once again. Remember, Annan is a premium brand of choice. We want it to remain like that. Premium brand. First among equals. Charting a new course. We are not claiming to know it all, but we always decide to break new grounds. So we want to thank you for being here. And we hope you will learn one or two things to enable you stand out when you go to your place of work. As I acknowledge with thanksgiving those who have played the role to be here, I want to acknowledge, I think there's only one past president here in this program from beginning to this point. And I want to acknowledge, I think he has stepped out, as a professor, Akairo Mohammed Mainuma. He has always stood by us, encouraging us, supporting us. And members, past council members, I don't know whether I'm from Ricardo or Safia, past council members, past registrars, past DGs, God bless you all. So we have come to the tail end of this program. And I'm telling us as we go from here, please stand out. I like the person who said when everybody's sitting, stand. When everybody's standing, stand out. When they are all standing out, it's outstanding. When they are all outstanding, be the standard. Let your stand be known. Don't get lost in the crowd. Be the best you can be. Let me pause here to take questions and comments and listen to a few comments that we may have to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Another round of applause for him. We have come to the segment titled Meet the President. Some of you may be meeting the President for the first time if you have been in SCA or part of the inductees. Some of you are visitors, friends and relatives of our inductees. Some of you operate at the branch level and you have familiar relations with your chairman. But for the first time or a rare occasion, you will be meeting the President of Annan. Yesterday I mentioned that a tree that stands out amongst others must have gone through a lot of process to stand through generations. I read bio of the President of Annan for you to have an inkling what it takes for a man to preside over a membership of over 50,000 accountants. Professor Benjamin Chuka Osisioma was born into the family of Peter Obi Osisioma on October 14, 1950 in Enugu Nanka, Orumba North local government area, Anambra State. He's a professor of accounting at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. I'm correct that he was a professor, retired Professor Emeritus of Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. He is a professional accountant with Anam. He holds a PhD degree in finance, which he obtained in 1989. Oh my God, I don't know how many of you were very active in 1989. In 1989, he obtained his PhD in finance. His MBA degree in finance as well was obtained in 1983. He is a first-class BSc degree holder in accounting, and he obtained that in 1977, all from the University of Nigeria. Thank you very much. I expected that. He has also undergone postdoctoral training and an associate member of the US-based Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. A round of applause, please. This takes a lot of commitment and sacrifice for one man to put himself to forward personal development to give quality and content to the body called ANA. Professor Benjamin was a foundation scholar at UNN, University of Nigeria, in his undergraduate days from 1974 to 1977. Was a federal scholar for his postgraduate studies. He was at graduation both a departmental and faculty prize winner. He served variously over time as senior lecturer, principal lecturer, professor, head of department, dean of faculty, director in different institutes. He has also served as full-time, part-time, and adjunct professor for PhD supervision and postgraduate lecturers at a myriad of distinguished academics in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, University of Nigeria Enugu Campus, Covenant University, Ota, Ebonyi State University of Discipline. He has also supervised and examined more than disciplines. He has also supervised and examined more than 200 MBA and MSc theses in different federal, state, and private universities in Nigeria and abroad. He has authored not less than 19 books and monographs, 25 chapters in books of reading, 60 referred journal papers, 150 conference and seminar workshop papers at national and international fora, and 26 general interest texts and papers. Please keep the applause coming. He has been severally and extravagantly honored and decorated for his contribution to community and society. His portfolio of awards and honor include awards for integrity, academic excellence, and outstanding leadership. He was selected as Man of the Year by the American Biographical Institute in 2001 and listed in the direction of Outstanding 2000 Intellectuals of the 21st Century by the International Biographic Center, Cambridge, England. In 2020, he was decorated the Life Grand Patron of Society for Forensic Accounting, now known Chartered Institute of Fraud Examiners. He has been variously nominated for several national and international awards. Professor Osisioma further served as Director General of the Nigerian College of Accountancy in 2001. He was Chairman Anan Think Tank from 2007 to 2014 and member Governing Council, Vice President of ANC. He was a member of Board of Financial Reporting Council from 2013 at Nnamdi State. He is currently Reverend Canon, which he obtained in 2019 in the Anglican Communion of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Benjamin Chuka Osisioma is happily married to the love of his life, Professor Hilda Osisioma, and the union is blessed with two children, Osi Chukwu and Adim Chinubi. and gentlemen, I don't need to tell you anything more. Please welcome the man behind this humongous biography. Welcome the President and Chairman of God bless you. Third and final, okay, we'll just take two gentlemen and we'll proceed. Your name, state, membership number, and go to the question.
Chairman, sir, the President and members of panel, my senior colleagues, I am Stanley Omorobe from Edo State, presiding Mr. Ubiagbe Study Center. I have an observation to make and a way forward. The first one, sir, is this. I want to find out if the 3 days slated for this exercise, which members or inductees are coming from all nook and cranny of this Nigeria, at least as they come in, sir, after they are being screened at the end of the day, so that they can be refreshed or given a pack. At least once you screen finish, they give them a pack. Say, okay, take. So that they should be able to have something. Because most of them don't have, they are new in that environment, they don't know where to get something. Then two, sir, the second one has to do with the formation of the syndicate group. Because, like some of us would have loved to be part of it, most of us don't really understand the syndicate group. I will advise, sir, that in case of a subsequent one, at least we should be given enough information so that those that want to really participate can actually get prepared and get participated. Then the last one, sir, I want to talk on the proposed issue of the computer-based test that we were, the association were really planning to undertake, sir. I remember that I went to write my exam in Enugu. Initially we were doing the computer-based over in Benin. At times we were having network challenges, to hook on to the network. At times we failed, we no longer hear more of the information. When we were told that yes, we have to purchase a laptop for the exercise, a lot of us we went out to go and look for a laptop and get ourselves prepared. We said we have to get a modem. We went to the market, we purchased a modem. Everything was perfectly in order. You know why coming to Enugu, system that was functioning, working. When we got to Enugu, agreed that yes, it was. We were asked that we will no longer use it. System that was working yesterday, on getting to Enugu, it could no longer function. It was not a problem. So my colleagues and I, we were ready fed up saying, if they had allowed this system to continue, then that would have been a failure on our part. So my take-home, sir, I will advise, sir, and recommend that the management should partner with CBT centers in case for future references. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, sir, all protocols observed. I am Professor John Ihe, Head of Department of Accountancy, Imo State University. Sir, my question is in line with professionalism of the coming generations. Just like we are holding this conference here, I can held years in Imo State this year too. And at the end of that program, they visited my Vice Chancellor. And one of the requests is that Imo State University is where they have the least number of professional members, that both staff and students. And as a result, asking the Vice Chancellor to find avenue to sanitize the school and ensure that they get more members from the university. Unfortunately, he was handicapped. He decided to set up a committee headed by the Deputy Vice Chancellor. And you cannot do without the head of Department of Accountancy under such scenario.
So I happen to be a member. In the first meeting, I was absent. But the minutes of the meeting read that those who are in honor were those who are inferior in knowledge, that they have tried ICANN for several times and failed. So when I stepped forward for the first time of the meeting, the DVC called me by the side. How many times have you written ICANN? I said, I have never for once thought of writing ICANN. What I was preparing for was ACCA. And I became also a fellow of the Certified Public Accountant before I wrote an exam. And that is where I am dwelling. He said, you mean you've not written before? I said, no. Though, as at the time, I was getting a call from ICANN office asking me to come and write the same exam that I would be an examiner. But I did not go because my friend Femi Adebisi was the Director General of the College of Accountancy then. I decided to go there. So when I visited, I came to the Vice Chancellor also. He asked me the same question. I repeated what I said here. He said, why did you go to belong to the inferior one? I said, please, sir, with due respect, it's a statement you should withdraw. I pay credence to your position and your personality, but you are uninitiated in financial areas. I therefore should tell you better. I said, both ICANN and ANAN are the same thing and stand on equal status. I do not even for once compare to students where they should belong. I said, our performance in the classroom and generally should be a convincing factor because what professionalism stands for is excellence in service. And so I told him, I said, myself as Secretary is of honor. The Dean of the Faculty, Professor Isi Umaka, is of honor. And you can compare two of us coming from this background with those who are coming from the other background. You can do that through the students. When I said that, I said, what you're asking me here is comparable to BSc Accountancy from ABSU and BSc Accountancy from IBSU. Are they not the same? The Dean of Postgraduate Studies told me that analysis does not hold. I said, sir, this is why I claim that you people are the uninitiated in financial matters. I therefore stand my ground to tell you that they are the same thing. And it's not the only body where I belong. And I have nothing to kick against ICANN. So he now was asking me, what have you done with the committee? I said, I've been giving my contribution. I think there is a report back to you through the DVC. And that is where I've said, in the interest, wherever the students want to go, if you want to come to ANA, we welcome you. If you want to go to ICANN, I encourage you that I teach to meet both standards, and the standards are the same. So, the question I want to present on the basis of this is, what is ANAN doing? Because ICANN sometimes tend to take credence because they come for accreditation in the universities, which I'm supposed to host them by October, if a strike will be over. There should be move to stop them. NUC should be the only body to accredit schools. This made them, like as a department, I can show face from time to time, they back books. In fact, this is an advert, the chairman. Look at what I'm passing through. I expect you people, through the national body, to also throw strength in the department. If I and the Dean of Study of the faculty are of this professional body, much is expected. And that is the only avenue we can compare both undergraduate and postgraduate students because of our products. As far as the work is concerned, they are interested in what concerns us. They believe that the real professionals are this ones. If you are a professional, you don't need to advertise yourself. It's your service that should advertise you, isn't it? And that is what I believe in, whether by exam or by oral presentation. Thank you, sir.
and gentlemen, standing on the existing protocol, I am Mr. Mcpd from Enugu branch. Membership number is 48495. Pardon me, please. Sir, please, I want to ask one question. Mcpd from Enugu branch. My question is this. When I wanted to attend out of Ibadan. Then my boss called me in the office. He said, Mcpd, why are you so much in a hurry? This certificate is not gonna do me anything now. I say, how? Gonna benefit me anything for now in the office? I say, how, sir? He said, there's a circular that says that ANAN can no longer be used as a document to convert for conversion. Yes, the circular is online. Professional body. ANAN is included now. Yeah. I was like, why? After passing through all the stress and everything. He said, that is it. So my question is this, is there anything you are doing to assist us remove such are there anything the management they are doing to help us, remove us from such hook? Because I call it hook. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Over to Mr. President.
Hello. Hello. Thank you very much. I want to congratulate those of you who came forward. And if you dress like a mechanic, they will think that's what you are. I hope I'm understood. All right. Let me begin with Professor John. He has comments. First of all, I want to say that what he experienced is part of the demarketing process. I call it demarketing that ICANN embarks on. We don't want to play that game with them anymore. We actually acknowledge everywhere we go that ICANN is the elder brother to ANAN. And that's the truth of the matter. They received their charter in 1965. We got our own in 1993. So we respect them. But if there's a book we intend to launch in 2 weeks' time at the national conference, the title is The ANAN Story, Advancing the Science of Accountants. It is the authentic story of ANAN, as told by ANAN. 3 years ago, we deployed a week. We hope it will be possible to launch it at the national conference come September. We're already in September. You need to buy it. That's when you read the story of ANAN. You see, when they say that ANAN is the place for those who couldn't pass exam, yeah, perhaps they may be right. Those who train by examination, we don't do that. We believe that he who does not train lacks the moral justification to examine. If you have any fool that set a question, any fool can set a question that the wisest man on earth cannot answer. Let me give you an illustration. 2 people were arguing. One was a man who had the answer to everything. The other one was a small question, and you can't answer it. You give me $5. But if you ask me anyone that I cannot answer, I'll give you $50. I said, okay. But the man fired the first shot. And he asked the boy, okay, fire the first shot. If you ask a question I cannot answer, $50. The boy asked him a question. What is the name of the creature? When he's going up a tree, that's 3 hertz. When he gets there, that's 4. When he comes down, has 2. It has a tail and it has intestine. All sorts of things. What's the name of the creature? The wise man scratched his head. Waited and waited. The boy, of course, stopped and stepped off. He went in a plane. But after some time, he woke the boy up. Sorry, I can't answer the question. The boy said my money. He took $50 and gave him. Then went and turned to the boy. Okay, what's the answer? The boy took $5 and gave him. I don't know the answer. The wisest man may not be able to answer a question for the most foolish man. So passing exam is rubbish. Many years ago, I was the director general of the college, and I went on a tour on invitation to Ogun State. And during the folding program, somebody asked me the same question. They say you people are those who couldn't pass ICANN question paper. Did you take ICANN paper? Did you pass? I laughed. I told them, I said, I graduated from the university in 1977. And when we graduated, it was regarded, it was felt that ICANN was for people who did not go to school. Yes. So I never took any ICANN exam. Yes. He said, you know that I never took any. And then I said, by the way, I graduated at the top of my class and at the top of my faculty. Every member in my class who is in ICANN, none of them is better than me. But I'm where I think I need to be. Since then, they have stopped confronting me with that question. In fact, at Unipen, one of my former colleagues, a professor, which one does Osama belong to? They said, I said, Anna. They come to the man who told me, how then can you say it's the inferior one? Let your work speak for you. Concentrate on being the best you can be. They may not like you, but because of the quality of your output, when they need help, they will come for you. So forget all these things they are saying. But Professor, you said something we are going to work on. You said we should put up a robust paper to NUC, asking that professional bodies should stop this independent accreditation in universities. Because they're using it to demarcate other professional bodies and to abuse others. Let them nominate those who will go with NUC accreditation teams and not go on their own, tasking the department. Well, we will
professional colleagues, some of these things are pertinent for us to mention. That I am an annual member is a pride. You see, the only professional body in Africa, not just talk of Nigeria, that has a college. When we came on board, we agreed on a collegiate system, and that is the fact that we brought the Nigerian College of Accountants. And of course, the president was once the DG of the Nigerian College of Accountants. Today, I tell you, we have successfully inducted about 2 of ICANN past presidents into ANA. As I talk to you here, I have a paper with membership secretary from a very senior ICANN member in Bayelsa State, my state. So please, sir, I want to join ANA. And I'm sure my president has signed that paper. We were in Lagos during his own presidency. I was the membership secretary then. A council member of ICANN came to us in Lagos. Then Lagos was the headquarters. Sir, I want to be a member of ANA. And the matter was so much for me. I took her before Nzom, the president. So, okay, this is a council member in ICANN. She wants to be a member of ANA. And Nzom said, well, madam, what do you really want in ANA? I said, look, I know one day you will shine more than ICANN. I want to belong. Ladies and gentlemen, let your work speak for you, like my president said. We were in Mauritius some years back. ICANN, Anna. And while we were taking tea, a woman came to me. We sponsored, I think, platinum or gold. So they were running our adverts every 30 minutes. Just like this, every 30 they were running it. Why are you people advertising yourself? You inferior professionals. And I can't remember from Nigeria. You inferior professionals. I have 15 members in my department who are ANA members. And they have no input. I said, 15 members, madam. And these people have no input in your department. And you are there as the head. And you think your head is good. I have 40 accountants under me as a bursar of a federal polytechnic. 40 accountants, and I am their teacher. If where anyone fails, I have failed. So for the 15 people, if they fail, madam, you have failed. We came back to Nigeria 2 months after, the woman looked for me, and she wants to be a member of Anna. She's now a member of Anna. Thank you.
Hello! You have heard it. So thank you very much for raising Professor John, thank you for raising that contentious issue. I've been also reminded that when we went to Marrakesh, African Congress, one of the African delegates stood up after hearing what we are doing at the college. He said, the College of Accountancy that people have in Jos has solved over 50% of the problems associated with trading accountants in Africa. And today, even IFA has recognized that. That's why they're asking us to mentor other bodies. So don't listen to the marketing, I call it demarketing, antics by them. Then somebody said refreshment for the 3 days, including the first day of arrival. Okay, what you have said is all right. We will increase the amount you pay. Yes. we will increase the amount so that we will provide you food on your arrival. We want to take care of you, but we don't want to go broke while doing it. So we've noted that in future, please, Mcpd chairman, please note, you will bring a paper for revision of the amount we pay, so that as people arrive. Okay, Stanley, you have heard. They don't want the food, so they don't want to pay. All right, but please, that notwithstanding, we've always tried to take care of your interests. That's why we kept increasing the votes for your meals here. Anytime the caterers don't feed you well, hold on. We pay at least 2,000 naira for every meal. Okay, let's move on. I'm telling you, we don't hide anything. Hello? It's not even 2,000. CEO has prompted me, it's now 2,500. We give 2,500 for every meal. So you should eat well. Then the syndicate group. We've heard you, Stanley. I hope the Mcpd chairman is also listening. When you set up the syndicate groups, talk about them. So that even those who come late, some people come in the morning, some come in the afternoon, some even come in the final day. Let there always be a statement to enable them know how you set up the syndicate groups. You may ask them to take numbers A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Know where they stopped. Later people can now take a number and know where to come in. So please note that. Then the last issue you talked about was CBT. That's our challenge. We talked about having all your laptop and everything good, and then you arrive everywhere, the thing disappeared. It must be your villagers. Coming after you. Anyway, what we want to say is that we have heard you that we should go to CBT centers. You see, what we are trying to do, we want to make sure that all the costs are limited. We minimize costs in order not to put too much on you. And that's why we try to use, for example, this last receipt exams. We even held one of the exams in the Annan office. We have a hall downstairs, we used it In Lagos, we use the Anand Secretariat, former Anand Secretariat. We want to reduce costs. So, as much as possible, the exams committee has noted what you have said. We wanted to get the CBT matter to take off immediately, but we had some technical issues to resolve. And so we have delayed the full takeoff. But we'll try to make sure everything is on ground before it takes off. So please note that we have heard and we are going to do whatever we can to make matters better. Then Lubeza was talking about professional qualification before entry into the public service. The government, federal government put out a statement saying that professional qualification will no longer be a determinant for placement as we enter the public service. We protested. The Association of Professional Bodies in Nigeria also protested. We said the gains of professionalization in the public service, which Nigeria has had for the past how many years, are about to be thrown away because somebody wants to make a space for another person. So we will do what we can. We'll present our views, canvass them very strongly. But in the end, you know that these matters are executive matters. Pray that we'll get a professional as a president who will want to drive professionalism in the public sector. We actually protested. We said, ICANN was given an undue advantage over us. They were given the term when we entered level 9. And we started battling this thing for how many years? Just when we were about to get the approval, you tell us it's not necessary. And we don't agree. Give us the status, and if you want to nullify it, you can nullify it. So that when we go back to it next time, we'll have a comfortable position. So be rest assured that all our professional bodies are acting up. The final issue I want to address before I call it up, we are updating our membership, we are publishing our membership register for the first time. For those of you who don't understand, we pay due subscription to international organizations. $10 per person. IFA, $10 per staff member. Apple, I don't know whether Apple was fine. $10 a hand. You can imagine. How much do you pay? How much do you pay? And then somebody who is owing us 600,000 naira, 700,000 naira, locates himself in the list. And this kind of thing should not continue. So what we are trying to do is to prepare a list of financially viable members. Let me shock you. We have on the books membership of over 47,000 now. Those who are financially up to date are only 12,000 something. So they are asking other members, but they are not ready to form. If you support Anand, prove it by putting money into Anand. You pay the one you are supposed to pay. We're having quite a record of it. Somebody had that we are planning fraud summit. He's a director of the federal ministry. He had paid his dues. He gave us 1 million naira. Another person gave us 10 million naira. Somebody gave us 1.5. They are saying, we believe in Anand. If you believe in Anand, put money into Anand. Don't just collect our certificate, frame it, put it in your house, and refuse to pay us. You can't let it continue. So we were planning this September during the national conference. We'll publish the first register of Anand members. If your name is not there, it will be unfortunate. So make sure your name is there. If your name is not there, it's not our fault. In fact, August 15, we brought out the list. So if you pay and your name is not on that list, let us know. We'll update it. But by yesterday it ended. We may even grant a few days extension up to September 7th. If you do not pay before September 7th, you produce the list. Of course, it's not the only one we produce. Like those who will be inducted today may not be on that. They may be on that list, but may not be. We'll publish another one. Less than one every year. So, if you have been a member that you've not paid, your name won't be on the list. There is a consolation gift for you. Your name will be there. But you may show that you are a junior member. So you better make sure your name is in this one. So that's all we want to say. We are trying everything possible. Of course, you know that in November, at the World Congress of Accountants, in the past, we used to encourage our members to go there. But because of financial constraints, there's a limit to what we can do. The registration is ongoing. If you call and make inquiries from the ministry, from the secretariat, we'll give you information. Plan to go. Go to your ministry, go to your office, get them to sponsor you, sit for it. It comes up once. Hold on. It comes up once every 4 years. So if you can't go this year, sit for the next 4 years. Let's pray that God will keep you alive till that time. And then you go. So that's all we need to add here. We also have this presidential dinner on September 12th, the first day that the conference will start. The idea is to call together some individuals who have encouraged us in the past 40 years. We want to celebrate them. We want to celebrate ANAN members who have stood by us, and try to involve every branch in the plans. Please try and be part of it. Attendance is by invitation, and we expect you to come and help raise funds. We're not just calling you to come and eat. We are calling you to come and donate. So before you start struggling that your name is not there, make sure you have money that you. So please plan to be there. And of course, the conference is going to be very special. We have the former PAFA CEO as the keynote speaker, Dixon Ngube, one of our most steadfast friends in the early difficult days of ANAN. So please plan to be there. I think we have now come back to my paper. So I want to thank you for your questions and your comments, and now we go to my address. Thank you all for making this session of the Mcpd a success. I wish you journey in mercies as you travel back to your various destinations. The God who brought you safely to this place will take you safely back to your home in the name of Jesus. We wish you journey in mercies. I hereby declare the 5th session of 2022 Mcpd program in Imo State closed.
Thank you, Mr. President. And there we have it. This is where we're drawing the curtains on the grand finale of the 5th session of ANAN 2022 Mcpd program in Owerri, Imo State. And as this, we have finally come to an end of the Mcpd. And we're enjoying the existing members.
Thank you very much, my President and Chairman of Council, for this closing address. We have finally closed the MCP for today. Thank you, Lord. The glory be to God. Let's clap. Let's see the round of applause. My professional colleagues will quietly walk out from the hall, from that side, to the to come in now, so that we get the induction proper. My professional colleagues, just let's step out from the back gate to the lawn.
Remain seated.
Inductees, please remain seated.
Please leave the hall quietly. We have come to the end of the Mcpd session and the induction ceremony has commenced. Inductees, friends and family, please sit beside or sit in the hall while the members who attended this Mcpd program quietly make your way out of the hall. Induction ceremony has commenced. Please do this quietly, and we welcome the membership secretary to conduct the induction ceremony. Please welcome Alhaji Ibrahim Hussein Gidado to commence this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam. Please, the forms we are distributing to you now is the old form. Fill all the relevant spaces, but don't sign. Don't tell me you have signed already. Don't sign, please. Your seats have been numbered, so that's where you remain, and that's how we are going to get certificates. You come to where you are sitting and share the certificate. This is Group A, Group B, Group C, Group D, Group E. The officers that will share the certificate will come there. Okay, there is a Group F behind E. You are all supposed to be properly dressed to be inducted. If you choose to wear traditional, as the president said earlier, including the cap for the men and the headgear of the women. And if you are dressed corporately, to make sure that you wear the tie, the suit and the cover suit. Please settle down. Those of you standing, what's the problem there? You know, what for? Yeah, so madam. Inductees, your food and refreshment have been reserved.
What information? What are you creating?
Membership committee members, please round up quickly. Membership committee members, can you come to the front, please? Committee members, can you come to the front? Chairman, does that guy have a problem? It's been going on. More we already. Please settle down, please. Mr. President and Chairman of Council, Professor Emeritus, Reverend Canon Benjamin Chuka Osisioma, the first Vice President, Dr. James Neminebo, the CEO, Dr. Kayode Fashua, Chairman Mcpd Committee, Chief Peter Anyang of the Anyang Dynasty, management staff, Mr. President, standing before you, our committee members of our Membership and Privileges Committee. They have worked tirelessly since around here Sunday to make this occasion a success, and it looks like we are about to do it successfully. Everywhere is calm. They are here for recognition, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to deeply appreciate your efforts. Thank you. I was telling the membership secretary that from the first outing you had when we came in April, I have seen you improve your performance, and I can see that that improvement continues. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Inductees, congratulations in advance. You have achieved a milestone, and I'm sure you will regret your decision of joining ANA. Continue to improve yourself, be masters in your game, and that what will stand you out in your career. Choose your career progression properly. Either you want to practice, either you want to be a professional civil servant, or you want to be in the private sector. The future is great for ANA. It's a big family, about 50,000 members, globally recognized. We belong to virtually all the accounting bodies that are affiliated to IFA. So you are a global brand. Congratulations. In ANAN, you have to belong to a branch. The moment you are inducted, go back and register with your branch. Your membership number that will be given to you today will be your identity in ANAN till you leave. Whenever you are doing any correspondence, is that membership number that stands you out. As I said, those of you that are not properly dressed, you won't be inducted. Probably in Sokoto, but here. So make sure that you are properly dressed. The president has said it, that you will ask questions here if you are not properly dressed. What about being inducted? If you don't have a tie, rush out and get a tie. If you don't have a cap, go and get one. I wish you success in your career, and I wish to see you more and more of you. Try to attend activities of ANA. That's how you develop yourself. Mcpd, national conference, conferences organized by ANA, both home and abroad. You are what you are as good as what you can do. Know your audience in accounting, and you can stand tall and talk to anybody and rub shoulders with anybody when it comes to accounting. But when you know it, and it's evolving, it's changing every day, and we're trying to keep you abreast with the new changes in accounting by conferences, workshops, and seminars. Thank you very much. Let me call on the Chief Executive to give you a brief remark as we proceed.
the President and Chairman of Council of ANAN, Reverend Canon Professor Emeritus Benjamin Chuka Osisioma, the first Vice President of ANAN here seated, Dr. James Ekerare Neminebo, Membership Secretary, Alaji Gidado, fellows of ANAN that are seated here to give moral support to the inductees here, members of ANAN who are also here already, prospective members here seated as the inductees, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon. What I'm about to share with you is in the pamphlet that has been, that handbook that has been given to you. And so what I'll be doing will just be a summary of what is there. What you have in your hand is not everything. It's just a summary of some things that you should know. I'm very delighted to welcome you all to this special occasion of the induction ceremony for newly qualified members of our great association, ANAN. I, on behalf of the President and Chairman of Council of ANAN and the entire family of ANAN, warmly congratulate all inductees for meeting all the requirements for admission into the membership of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria today. This ceremony is a befitting acknowledgement of your determination and hard work. It is therefore an occasion to rejoice and savor the aroma of good success. Accept my congratulations once again for your success and for choosing the right profession and of course, the right professional body, ANAN. Let me just pause here briefly by what I've just read here now, that you have chosen the right professional body. ANAN is the only professional accountancy body in Nigeria that has the powers to advance the science of accountancy in Nigeria and even beyond Nigeria. Today, your professional body does not just have a college of accountancy, which is first and only of its kind in the world, and acknowledged and envied by many professional accountancy bodies all over the world. Your professional body, ANAN, is also the only professional accountancy organization in the world that owns and runs a university. And that alone is enough for you to be proud of where you are. As part of the tradition of our induction ceremony, we brief inductees about the association and the accountancy profession so that you are kept abreast of development in your chosen profession. I will therefore now give you an insight into the structure and operations of ANAN and some current issues you will probably need to sustain you as a professional accountant. ANAN, which is the body you are coming into today, is the only chartered professional accountancy organization in Nigeria empowered by law to teach as well as examine its students. If you heard what the president said earlier, that you do not have any moral right to examine someone that you have not taught. So we do not operate by examination. That is why the Nigerian College of Accountancy was established by the Act establishing ANAN to teach prospective members of ANAN and to also examine them. Besides, ANAN is the only professional body, accountancy body, having the absolute power to advance the science of accountancy. Currently, with your coming into the membership of ANAN today, ANAN should be hitting like 48,000 members or slightly more than that. ANAN is the second statutorily recognized professional accountancy body in Nigeria. The other one happens to be ICANN. I leave the rest to you to just go through. actually operates the collegiate system of professional training, and it remains the gift that ANAN has given to the accountancy profession worldwide. The history and development of ANAN. Why we are giving you this is because you are becoming ambassadors of ANAN from now. After the president will admit you into the membership of ANAN, you will all shout, get excited, but you have also taken up additional responsibility. That anywhere you are, you should be able to speak boldly about ANAN, and before you can speak, you should know about it. The Association of National Accountants of Nigeria was established in 1979 and got its act in 1993. And its act empowers it to advance the science of accountancy, pioneering a multidisciplinary emphasis in the production of well-rounded, well-blended, and well-honed accounting professionals who are profound in knowledge, who are skillful in practice, and who are ethical in conduct. And that is what you are. And that is what we expect you to take out into the world after today. Since inception, ANAN has produced over 40,000 members, clocking 48,000 now. You are also expected to know the vision of ANAN. The vision of ANAN is to make ANAN a premium brand of choice in professional accountancy practice and to impact on the accounting education and practice in a profound and comprehensive manner. You are also expected to know the mission of ANAN. The mission of ANAN is to pioneer, to advance the science of accountancy in Nigeria, pioneering a multidisciplinary emphasis, which is what ANAN has been doing in the production of well-rounded, well-blended, and well-honed professionals who are profound in knowledge, and who believe you are profound in knowledge, going by the training that you have had in the past 9 months and in the past 21 months, as the case may be. Profound in knowledge, skillful in practice, and ethical in conduct. What is the structure of your association that you are about to come into now? The Association of National Accountants of Nigeria is governed by Governing Council, which is the highest policy-making body. And this council is assisted by standing committees and a secretariat that is headed by the Chief Executive Officer. The Governing Council of ANAN is headed by the President, who is also the Chairman of the Council, and assisted by the First Vice President, the Second Vice President, the Treasurer, the Membership Secretary, the immediate past President, who form the executive arm of the Council. And we have today about 16 members of Council that actually run the affairs of the association. The Council runs the association on behalf of the generality of its membership, to which it must submit a report of stewardship every year. The office of the Chief Executive Officer of ANAN, who hitherto was known as Registrar. So ANAN does not have a registrar again, just like most other professional bodies. We used to call it registrar, but going by international best practices and by reason of things that are unique to ANAN, the Chief Administrative Officer of ANAN is no longer called registrar, it's called the CEO. The Secretariat is the administrative organ of the association, and it ensures the smooth functioning of the body, in addition to the keeping of all records and registers of fellows and associate members. Presently, the Secretariat is made up of different departments. Today, the Secretariat of ANAN is situated in Abuja at number 559, Mabushi District, off Ahmadu Bello Way, Abuja, where they used to have Next Cash and Carry. Next Cash and Carry is a popular location in Abuja, off Ahmadu Bello Way. It's just adjacent Next Cash and Carry. You will see it. It's one of the tallest buildings in that area, ANAN House. You are expected to also know where your secretariat is located, both physically and virtually. Virtually, the website of ANAN, which you're also expected to know, is www.anan.org.ng. If you don't know, please write it down, because that website is important to you, very important. Go to that website from today. You will see all activities of ANAN that can be of benefit to you, and see how you can also contribute to ANAN. www.anan.org.ng. Org for organization, NG for Nigeria. Committees of council. The Council of Association of Nigeria functions through its committee. And you can see just a while ago, the membership secretary, Alhaji Gidado, brought some people here and introduced them to the president, that they have been working assiduously that to show them to the president, to appreciate them. You can also be member of that committee after you become a member of ANAN. You can be member of every other committee as well. Apart from membership committee, there are many other committees. If you go to the website of ANAN, you will see it. ANAN also has memorandum of understanding with many professional bodies, professional accountancy organizations. The moment you become a member of ANAN, you can easily become a member of CITN. You can easily become a member of Certified Public Accountants of Ireland, and a lot of others. That is why that website is very important to you. We run professional examination. You can read all those ones later. We have the CEFA that you can read. Please take note that professional ethics is very important for you as members of ANAN. Also take note of the rules of the professional conduct for members of ANAN, which include your integrity, independence, objectivity, confidentiality, and maintenance of technical standards and competence. Please take note of these two. President has mentioned it. There's annual general meeting once every year in April. Mandatory continuing professional development program 8 times in a year, which one of them you are attending today. Annual national conference that President has also mentioned earlier. The one for this year is holding September 12 to 15. It's important that you are there. Then of course there are many international workshops. ANAN CSR Day. Please take note that, like the member secretary, you are supposed to belong to a branch at the end of today. And we have our CSR Day on the 14th of October. And like I said, ANAN has a university like no other professional. In conclusion, as you prepare to join the League of Professional Accountants today, you must resolve to imbibe and continuously exhibit these virtues in and out of your workplace. You have to develop an insatiable appetite for learning and personal professional development. Only by so doing can you hold out yourself as models to generations yet unborn and project ANAN as truly the premium brand of choice in the profession. Congratulations once again, and thank you for your attention.
We are projecting your names and your membership number on the screen. These numbers that you write on the word form, don't sign again. And please, the few of you that may not see your membership numbers here, don't panic. We will resolve that after we share the certificates. There are some few of you that have little problems and not resolved, so don't panic at all. Okay, can you hear me? Please, those that their numbers may appear on the screen, don't worry. The few of you will resolve that after giving out the certificates. And if you can't see your number, go and sit where the F are seated. The last group will sort you out. And let me, Mr. President, let me commend this set of inductees. They've been very, very orderly, honestly.
Can you clap for yourself? That's a very good beginning. I'll watch this set and see how far you go.
So please, can you please all stand, all prospective inductees. Your oath of allegiance will be administered to you now by the President as he's reading to repeat after you. But when you come to administer the oath, you allow him to speak. You understand, and you remain standing until that is done. Mr. President and Chairman of Council, standing before you are 551 inductees ready to be inducted into the prestigious round of choice. Mr. President.
You always have a spare president. Mr. President, council members here, professional colleagues to me, by the mandate of our president, I have this authority to read the oath of allegiance to you. If I say I, you fill in your name. I do solemnly affirm that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria. And for as long as I am a member of the association, I will duly observe the regulations and rules of the association for the time being in force. That I shall not use the professional designation of certified national accountants or such other letters denoting membership, except while as a member of the association. That I will always conduct myself and carry out my professional duties in the best interest of the association and of the public. That I will not allow my personal interests to influence my professional conduct or my professional judgments. That I will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the fundamental objectives of the association as contained in the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria Act number 76 of 1993, Cap 826 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004. That I will abide by the ethics of the profession. That I will do right to all members of the association and obey all lawful instructions of the council of association. That I will not directly or indirectly communicate or reveal to any persons any matter which shall be brought under my consideration, or shall become known to me as a professional accountant, as may be required for the discharge of my professional duties. So help me God.
I think you can now sign. I think you will get we are not finished. We are not finished. Are you set? Are you set? I say yes. I say yes. By the powers conferred on me as the President and Chairman of the Governing Council of Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, I, Benjamin Chuka Osisioma, FCNA, hereby admit you into the membership of the association of this association at this membership induction taking place today, the first day of September 2022. You can now add the designation CNA, Certified National Accountant. Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations!
Congratulations, sit down, please. Mr. President.
Okay, I'm not supposed to give you a charge. One of the things I've always, please permit me again to speak to you sitting down. One of the things I've always been excited about as a teacher is the fact that at the beginning of a session, all the students in your class stand at par. They are all at the same level of knowledge or ignorance. They don't know more than nobody can claim superiority over another. Then you teach them, you instruct them. By the end of the session, they will split into many groups. There will be those who will be leaders, there will be those who are laggards, there are those who are middle of the course people. They decide where they fit in. So today, we admit you to the professional body, and you all are equal. You stand at the same position. But in a year's time, 5 years' time, 10 years' time, each person will define the niche that he will occupy. Some of you may become fellows after 1 year. Our rule is very simple. We don't admit people into fellowship until you have been a member for 10 years. But there are people who are exemplary, very sacrificial in giving their time and efforts, and we promote them. Some of you will come to that league. Some will stand out amongst their peers. I want to challenge you to be the best you can be. There is a story I always tell. A company one day the workers came to work in the morning, and there was a message from the notice board. Very strange notice. It says, the man who has been blocking your way to progress and to promotion in this company has just passed on. He died last night in his sleep. And the body will be displayed at the company auditorium at 10 a.m. Then I started whispering, who can this person be? Some said it's suicide, that one is dead. Others will say that, who is he by the way? How can he even try to stop on our way? They were all kinds of emotions, and they waited for 10 o'clock to know who this person was. And at 10 o'clock, they lined up. The body was there at the stage, open casket, and everybody will walk up and look at this person. As you just walk up to the body and look into the casket, what you will see there is a large, life-sized mirror. And the only person you will see is yourself. And there was a notice put there. The only person who will block your way to the future is you. What you make of this thing, that's what you're going to be. Take the driver's seat. The vehicle belongs to you. Drive it. Remember, when change is forced from the outside, it brings death. When it comes from the inside, it's new life. That's what the egg of the rock, that's what it tells us. When an egg hatches, life comes from the inside. But if you want to break it from the outside, you destroy the life. Why don't you decide to change? Be the best you can be. They are calling accountants all kinds of bad names. Embezzlers, rogues, thieves. Decide to make a change. It may be unpopular to be a person of integrity, but take your stand and define the course you want to take. Remember, that's one thing. Even when people say they don't believe in God, I think they are the greatest fools. Everything tells me that you must give an account of what you have done. After our life is done, we'll give an account to the one who made us. And he knows everything. He can't be settled. You can't bribe him. You can't manipulate him. You can't circumvent. You can't second-guess him. What you do is what you get. Why don't you decide to be the best you can be? When your life here is over, it will be celebrated in the hereafter. I told people that I worked and retired at the age of 70 in 2020. But the kind of reception I've received since retirement, I never received it in all my days of work. At some point, I wondered whether it was a cost to be a civil servant, a public servant. I can now look back and say there is a great reward. And I'm encouraging you, stand for that which is right. It may take time, but your generation will celebrate you. Once again, I congratulate you for your great achievement, and I ask you to go get it. Go and be the best you can be. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, sir. I want to beg the President indulgence to graciously hand a few certificates, a few of them. Please, those of you that are not from you are all the same. It's just that time will not permit us for all of you to have a handshake with the President. And when it's done, we continue sharing the certificates. Mr. Indupe Jonah Umadupe, Queen Dali Chineyewa Ene, come along with your oath form. We'll collect it and give you the certificate. Come along with your oath forms. Ifani, Kingsley, Ezungu, Ross, Ibrahim, Niman, Newman.
Right behind, original collected by me. Come on, bring it to me. Snap it. Original certificate collected.
Radius, Chukwuemeka Uzo. Ignatius Chukwuemeka Uzo.
Original collector is the sign.
Gift Azoma as usual.
And all the involved here. We want to say thank you very much, sir. We are glad and we are happy. Today we can proudly say we are ANA members. And our promise from today henceforth is that as we go into the war, we are going to protect and bring a greater height. And to my members, I promise and also pray to God Almighty, as you live here and go back to your various destinations, the Lord who brought you here will take you back home without any problem in Jesus' name. And also all the people who contributed to make today a success, we pray also that God will bless you and will continue to move forward in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank you very much. We escort the president now and we'll continue sharing certificates now. Remain seated please where you are. When sharing certificates will come. No, thank you, sir. Sir, join sir.
Johnny Messi, sir.
That would be group A, group B, group C, group D, E, and then group F at the back of E. So just remain seated.